I mean, they did a pretty good job. What game isn't on the Switch at this point? Well, pretty much any graphically intensive third-party game from the last 5 to 10 years. But thankfully, if you want to play those on the go, Nintendo has a product for you. Nope. Sorry about that. The Nintendo Switch 2. This might be what it looks like, actually. There were new leaks today of the controllers in action. You can even see them behind a blurred screen, mind you, getting snapped on and off magnetically. And as far as we know, yeah, the new Joy-Cons for the Switch 2 are gonna be magnetic, and that's sick. Also, I'm 99% sure this is fake. The actual Switch 2 Joy-Cons might end up looking like this, but these ones are so thick and chunky, they just scream 3D printing. And believe me, I know 3D printing. I've had a 3D printer for at least a week. So you could say I'm a professional. The president of Nintendo, this guy, Furukawa, I remembered. I always forget that one. I have so many of your games, sir. I apologize for forgetting your name. He's been saying a lot of things about the Switch 2. He said they're gonna reveal the Switch 2 by March of next year, so we know that. And he also said that everything Switch 1 will carry over to Switch 2. The glorious 2 words that every Nintendo gamer has been dying to hear over the last 8 years. Backwards compatibility, which means going into the Switch 2, we're gonna be able to play all of these. And you would hope with the increased potential output of the Switch 2's raw power that we might actually see a ton of really great third-party games moving onto the Switch 2. Nintendo themselves even said recently the third-party support for Switch 2 is way stronger than it's ever been. A lot of third-party companies were too afraid to support the Switch, thinking that it might be another Wii U, and, well, you can't blame them. But now, reflectively looking back, a lot of those same companies are thinking to themselves, nuts. The point is, a bunch of third-party developers are gonna support the Switch 2. And with the Switch 2's increased enhanced power, what kind of games might we see at launch? In fact, one of the Switch's third-party launch games might have already been secretly revealed. This website, Screen Rant, they recently did a 10 list of launch games from third parties for the Switch. And, well, goddammit, they actually kind of crushed it. Hi, hello, I gotta do an ad read. But I know, you're probably expecting me to do some elaborate skit where there's 2 of me on camera at the same time and we're having a little conversation. I don't have time for that. It's holiday season. That takes a lot of editing. So no, I know. I vetoed that idea. I even thought about maybe having the other me dress up in some silly outfit, but then I decided that's dumb. The other me would look ridiculous. So why would I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to give it to you straight, tell you what you need to know, and I'm going to get back to the video. The holidays are an amazing time. An amazing time to realize I have no idea what to get anybody. I can just give people Raycons. For one, I have a ton of them because they keep sending them to me. But even if I was to buy them for people, what a great gift idea to give them premium quality audio that costs half the price of other audio brands. I mean, they won't care about that part because you're the one buying it as a gift, but it'll make you happy. These are the Raycon Everyday Earbuds, and it's their newest and best model. They've improved so many things. To start with, it has a 32-hour battery life, and I didn't know this until today, actually, and it blew my mind. You can charge them wirelessly just by placing them on a wireless charger. I didn't know that. And in 10 minutes of charging that way, you get 90 minutes of playtime. Do the math. Okay, stop doing the math. And multi-point connectivity. So if you want to connect your Switch and your Steam Deck to them at the same time, you can. Look, all jokes aside, I literally use my Raycons every day. And I can't work out without these. They have active noise canceling, so I don't have to hear all the other weightlifters grunting or the terrible music choices that public gyms always have. And if you think Raycon ain't giving you a holiday bargain, you better guess again, up to 25% off. If you go to buyraycon.com/beat-em-ups to save for the holidays. That's buyraycon.com/beat-em-ups to get up to 25% off. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring, and now back on with the... Have you been back there the whole time?
I wanted to be
I said I didn't want to do the skit.
It's for Christmas.
Oh, for Christ. I am the one that has to edit it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're not the main one.
Yes, me. You're not real. You're the fake one.
What do you mean you're the main guy?
I am clearly the main guy. I'm doing the read.
Are you kidding?
All right, watch this then.
Oh, no way. I am the main guy? I thought for sure I was the side guy. Are you kidding? That's awesome. No shot. I mean, I was back there the whole time. I thought for sure. All right, what do you guys want to talk about? No, don't go back to the video.
All right, so I'm going to go through this 10 list, and I'm going to tell you why each of these are actually a banger idea. But on top of that, at the end, I'm going to give you 10 of my own. Number 10 on Screen Rant's list is Elden Ring. We have Dark Souls, which is the only Souls game that we have on the Nintendo Switch. A pretty great port, but that's it. To launch the Switch 2, and I'm talking day one for this one, with whatever first-party thing Nintendo does, my money is still on a new Mario Kart because that would be sick. Alongside a few third-party banger games, one of them being the blockbuster megastar that won Game of the Year not only 2 years ago, but probably this year. Yes, it's up to win again. Everything's on fire and I'm fine. But think about it. Elden Ring was inspired by Breath of the Wild. The developers of the game themselves said that they played Breath of the Wild and they wanted to take the Souls series and merge it with an idea and concepts like the open freedomness of Breath of the Wild. So to launch the Switch 2 with Elden Ring feels like such a full circle moment, but also signals to all the elitist PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox graphic-focused gamers, hey, the Switch now has Elden Ring. It goes without saying, I think, that anything that's Steam Deck verified at this point should be able to run on the Switch 2. I think it's insane to think that the Switch 2 wouldn't be able to do, at the very minimum, what the Steam Deck can do. And I want to add, why not do what Nintendo does best, like when they brought Skyrim to the Switch? Add in exclusive Nintendo-themed cosmetics. Imagine like an Elden Ring world-inspired Link tunic. And a spin-off idea to Elden Ring, what if we did more Dark Souls 2? We only have the first one. Why not do the Dark Souls trilogy? Number 9 on their list was Cyberpunk. I've been meaning to go back and play this game. It's got so many DLCs and fixes, and I never went back to it. But it coming to the Switch in a full package, it would give me an excuse and a reason to play through it again. Also, it would be kind of full circle after one of my most popular videos being about Cyberpunk and it having nothing to do with Nintendo until now. Regardless of what kind of game it is or the state that it's in, putting it on Switch 2, it's a statement. I have some handheld PCs that are $1,000 to buy that can't run Cyberpunk very well. But if it had some kind of playable version of the game on Switch 2 at launch, you're just signaling to all third-party developers, to all consumers and possible Nintendo fans, gamers that haven't picked up a Switch because it's an underpowered little kiddie system. No, it's not. If it can play Cyberpunk, it can do anything. That game is optimized like spaghetti. Number 8 would make me so happy, and that's Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm telling you, their list is crushing it. I mean, Red Dead 1 is already on Switch. It gives Nintendo gamers that maybe they played Red Dead for the first time on the Switch a chance to pick up the sequel and play through both Red Deads. But also, Red Dead is another very impressive game that took a long time for handhelds to be able to play it in a decent way. It's also just one of those games that's perfect to play in handheld mode, just missions or exploring the world of Red Dead. Like it, oh god, I want it so bad. Then they put Persona 3 Reloaded, and their thinking on Screen Rant was it brings all of the current Personas in one place. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not too fussed about it. You know what I am fussed about? Metaphor ReFantazio. If we were to turn around within a year and have this brand new game playable on Switch 2 day one, it again instills trust into a new system. I didn't even think of this next one until I saw this article, but Monster Hunter Wilds? Oh, whoever wrote this is after my heart, man. Monster Hunter Rise was fantastic, and it's the game that got me into the Monster Hunter series, and it was a game that started as a Switch exclusive because a game like Monster Hunter World was never going to be able to play on Switch. So we got a more traditional, old-school, portable style of a Monster Hunter game that honestly was one of the best looking and playing games on the console, to Capcom's credit. And as a huge fan of Monster Hunter and seeing Monster Hunter Wilds coming, a part of my brain was, now I gotta play it somewhere else. Like, I kind of fell in love with it on the Switch, but now the Switch 2 could really put us in a position of merging the Switch with other consoles, that more powerful element you get from home consoles on the go again, and be able to merge experiences like Monster Hunter Wilds back into the portable scene that is the Switch 2. It's another full circle moment where you don't have to then develop a Monster Hunter specifically for the Switch because it can't handle Worlds, and you just put the one that's coming out on PlayStation 5 onto the Switch 2. And again, if you want to talk about games that are just great to have handheld and portable to be able to grind out missions all night long while you're watching TV or doing something else, Monster Hunter is that game. Wildcard at number 4, they threw Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I'm actually okay with this. I did pick up Valhalla when it came out, and it was a beautiful game in a rich open world with actually fairly likable characters, and I was enjoying doing the side missions. Perfect for the Switch. The next one almost feels like whoever wrote the article just wants this to happen, because I don't necessarily think The Sims 4 couldn't have happened on the Switch already. Maybe not. I don't know how that game is optimized. I know that Kim loves The Sims 4, and she constantly tries to play it on her PC, and the PC crashes. If her PC can't handle it, then the Switch, maybe the Switch couldn't. I feel like EA's support on the Switch has been pretty lackluster, and it would be nice to see them support the Switch 2 more. And something like The Sims. You can't tell me that games like Stardew, Animal Crossing haven't been some of the most successful games for a console like the Switch. Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah. This would be great. We actually have Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 on the Switch already. 3 is a whole different breed. It's a beloved game for many people. Also a Game of the Year winner of last year. You telling me day one, I can play the new Mario Kart and bang a stereo in the same day? Sorry about that. What did I say? Their number one on the list isn't the most exciting for a lot of people, but I think for a number one spot, it does make a lot of sense because it would really help the Switch 2's ecosystem. It's a series that has been missing on the Switch this whole time, and that's Call of Duty. I know a lot of us don't care, but there are people that would. It would increase the chance of a lot of different kinds of gamers that haven't invested in a Switch already coming and buying the Switch 2, which ultimately is what Nintendo wants to happen. It's good for us because the more people that buy the console, the more player base it gets, the more likely we are to get Metroid Prime 5 or other risks being taken by both third party and first party like Nintendo because the player base is there. I will never understand anybody that says, don't put Call of Duty on Switch. No, put it on there, please. Put it on there. Because if it means in the long run, I get more games, I'm all for it. Anyway, that's Screen Rant's list. If I was to do a 10, that would probably be the 10. But it got me to thinking, and I just have some extras. We recently had the Tomb Raider original series remastered, and I actually found out that 4, 5, and 6 are also being remastered and coming to Switch. On top of that, though, how about we just get the new Tomb Raiders? That's something that definitely I don't think could have existed on the Switch. We had the Street Fighter 2 collection released on the Switch's launch, which is fun, but I mean, like, come on. This is like 20 years old already. Imagine the Switch 2 launches with Street Fighter 6. The Death Stranding director's cut releasing on the console would be really cool to see. I recently started playing this on my Steam Deck, and it's just another perfect handheld game, and it looks and plays pretty great on the Steam Deck, actually. So I see no reason why it shouldn't be able to work on the Switch. Do you remember at the start of this video when I said one of the launch games might have already secretly leaked? There's been a big rumor for a long time that they showcased the Switch 2 to people behind closed doors. The first party game was Breath of the Wild, and apparently it was running at 4K 60 frames. This is all a rumor. The other one was Final Fantasy VII Remake. It was to show off what the Switch 2 could do that the Switch 1 clearly couldn't, and I still think that that happened, and that is going to be a game that we'll see on Switch 2, and I would really love to see that. Almost every Final Fantasy is on Switch, other than some of the newer ones. GTA 5 and Fallout 4, these games are so old, they could have been on Switch this whole time. So if I was to say, put those games on the console, it's more of just a, I finally want to see it happen kind of thing, and why hasn't it already? If anything, I would love to see those released now for Switch 1, and we can just backwards compatibility them over. Saying that I would like GTA 6 on Switch, I feel like is a dream. If GTA 6 could play on the Switch 2, I would almost be a little disappointed in GTA 6. Might be an insane thing to say, but I want it to be next gen. If a next gen experience could play on the Switch, it almost feels like it's not a next gen experience. I hope that's making sense. Having said all that, what about Starfield? It's very recent, and it's not a great optimized game, but it does run on Steam Deck. I'm pretty sure it gets this close to blowing up, but it doesn't. I mean, again, we have Skyrim on Switch. It's been there since launch. Skyrim was promoted by Nintendo in the very first trailer for the Nintendo Switch. Skyrim is where I got the idea for the exclusive skins because they even added a Breath of the Wild and a Master Sword to the game, and it's sold well on Switch because of that. I'm almost convincing myself saying this that Bethesda might already be working on a Starfield Switch port. I mean, why not? Even though I wasn't a huge fan of Starfield, I'll try it again if you put it on Switch, Bethesda. Diablo Diablo 3, the Switch port is probably the best way to play the game. So why not make the Switch 2, or the Super Switch, as I like to call it, the best place to play Diablo 4? The Resident Evil remakes at this point, I see no reason why all of those can't come over. Even the recent Silent Hill 2. Maybe that's too much of an ask? This one's more just for me than anything, but we have all the Devil May Cries on Switch except 5. I think that's true. Trust me when I say Alan Wake 2 probably won't be able to run on Switch. I tried getting Alan Wake 2 to run on my ROG Ally and it just didn't play well. It looked horrible. I had to remove all the fog from the game, and even still it ran at like 10 FPS. So Alan Wake 2 is probably not possible. It would really impress me to see it. In saying that, the Alan Wake 1 Switch port looks worse on Switch than it did on Xbox 360 back in the day, and the Switch version is called a remaster. So can we fix that? I put Hi-Fi Rush. It could probably work on the Switch 1, but I just kind of want it. All right, I have 2 concepts of a plan. For the next 2 spots on this list. Picture this. All those cloud-based games that we had on the Switch 1, games like Kingdom Hearts and games like Control, how about we get native ports of those for the Switch 2? You could have it be like, oh, do you want to play the games natively? Well, the Switch 2 is able to do that, but if you only have a Switch 1, you can at least stream them. That could even be an interesting way of like releasing things on both consoles moving forward. Let's say release Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Switch. It could be on the Switch family of consoles, with the Switch 2 being native and then the Switch 1 being streaming. My second concept of a plan, how about we take some of those older games that were on Switch that did not perform very well. I'd love to see some of these already existing third-party supporting games enhancing their games for the Switch 2, like Hogwarts Legacy, or even some really unplayable ones like Outer Worlds. Imagine that those developers go back, they retool, they readjust, they re-optimize, and they do Switch 2 enhanced versions of their games. That would be something I'd really like to see. Oh, Witcher 3. That would be so good. The porting team tried really hard to make that look and play good on Switch, even adding extra options in after launch. But I would love to see like a Steam Deck comparable or a ROG Ally comparable version of Witcher 3 running on Switch finally. You might think that I saved the best till last, but I didn't. In fact, I probably should have said that my list, my extras were all just extras. So the last one's nothing special to end on. But Star Wars. Survivor still, I feel, struggles a little on my PlayStation Pro. But it would be cool to get Fallen Order. I preferred the first one anyway. I actually stumbled on that Screen Rant list on accident. I was just gonna look at it and laugh at how wrong it was. And then I ended up really liking it. And I got excited to talk about possible Switch 2 launch games with you guys. And it'll be fun to look back at this video and be like, yeah, Elden Ring, right? It was so obvious. I wanna know what you guys think though. Leave your games down below that you'd like to see on Switch 2. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.